let's get into it a little bit. Let's get into a little bit of film analysis. Make sure I got that set up for you guys. And there it is. If you're watching on the YouTube version, let's get it going here. Some film and analysis. And look, I think in my brief watch, I do think Guervil can move around the defensive line. He can play. He's going to mostly play inside. You want him to mostly play inside. He can slide out if he needs to, because he's got the athleticism to do so. Don't think you'll ask him much to do it. But Florida needed an interior guy. They got a guy who can mostly play the interior, who's mostly going to play the interior. But if Florida in a pinch needs him to slide out a little bit, he can do that. Let's go to Corey Bender from Gators Online and On 3. He offers this analysis. Guervil brings size, power, and athleticism to the interior and immediately becomes one of the most important defensive additions in Florida's 2026 class. He's got the dominant frame with big-time strength. Guervil already has the physical makeup of an SEC defensive tackle. He's broad-shouldered, powerful through the hips, plays with heavy hands. His lower body strength stands out on tape as he anchors well against the run and rarely gives up ground at the point of attack. He plays with a solid base and balance, and when he keeps his pad level low, he's difficult to move. Guervil's sheer size and raw power allow him to disrupt plays early and absorbs double teams without getting overwhelmed. For being 300 plus pounds, Guervil moves impressively well. He flashes a nice get off at the snap, shows the ability to close space quickly when attacking gaps. On tape, he chases down plays from the backside, doesn't look out of place when changing direction. He has the feet and short area burst to create early disruption on passing downs. Also, his ability to redirect gives him upside as both a one-gap or two-gap player depending on the scheme. Let's play it again. There we go. That kind of flexibility makes him valuable. Where he can improve, while Guervil checks a lot of boxes physically, there's still technical development ahead. At times, he stands a little bit too tall out of his stance, which limits his leverage and hand pop. Improving his pad level and keeping his hands inside will help him shed blocks more consistently. As a pass rusher, he wins with effort and power, but doesn't yet have a full set of counters. Developing a go-to move and working on timing will make him a more complete disruptor on third downs. A high-ceiling addition along the interior. Florida's coaching staff targeted Guervil early and kept pressing through visits. He was atop the board for defensive line coach Gerald Chapman. With more polish, he could grow into a player who commands double teams, holds the line against the run, and even creates pocket push as a pass rusher. He gives Florida an immediate physical presence on the defensive line and a long-term foundation piece. That's what you like to hear. That's what you like to hear. Let's hear more. Andrew Ivins from 24/7 Sports. He offers, quote, athletic defensive tackle with the mass and quickness to make an impact in the middle. Tips the scales at just over 6'4", 310 pounds, and wears it well with a thicker trunk. Slams into opponents and frequently is one initiating contact. Will get low in his stance with exceptional lower body flexibility, but pad level tends to rise as play progresses, which can put him in some comparable positions. Displays adequate get-off for his size and has the downhill charge to close gaps in backside pursuit. Has manufactured plenty of power in the weight room over the years, and that shows up with his bull rush as he can forklift obstacles. But needs to figure out how to get more from his 35-inch arms and big 10 1/4-inch hands. Enters senior year with a lower sack total compared to most of his peers, but has the tools to eventually emerge as an effective one-gap player if he can take the coaching, keep honing his craft. Could fit into a variety of different fronts and shape in short yardage situations. Project as a potential multi-year contributor at the Power 4 level with an NFL ceiling, given how he moves with his features. Good stuff there from those guys. But yeah, I think you got to like what you saw there. And seeing it and hearing it, I think one thing that always stands out to me about defensive linemen, and both guys there made sure to point it out, and something I wanted to come back around to is the backside pursuit. Not giving up on plays, Staying in your lane, staying in your position, doing your job. Doing your job a lot of times is going to get you the stats. You saw the high tackle numbers where, well, backside tackles, those rack up. And offensive design these days where the zone reads and guys think they can cut back. No, if you stay in your lane, do your job, you're on the backside, you're going to rack up some tackles. Let's get to some film while we read some more analysis of Hester and what he had to say as well. As far as what the staff told Hester, quote, they say that I'm strong, fast, physical, that I play the ball, and that they're going to let me be a versatile corner. They've talked about my first year playing just corner, and then probably in the next year, I can switch to play safety and star too. So starting as a corner and then maybe moving him around the more experience he gets, which you can see here in the highlights. That part about playing the ball, yeah, it's apparent. When you look through these highlights, he's around the ball, makes plays on the ball, and maybe some bad throws by some quarterbacks too, but he's in position to make a play. And then, right here, making plays after the interceptions as well. Corey Bender of Gators Online says, quote, coverage skills that flash. Hester stands out on film with his natural feel in coverage, whether he's playing man or zone. He keeps tight positioning and rarely looks lost in space. His footwork is smooth and he closes windows quickly. Hester shows strong timing when breaking on the ball, while his ability to track the quarterback without losing the receiver shows solid instincts. He looks comfortable covering the slot or working on the outside, giving Florida flexibility with how he can be used. Corey goes on to explain with his high football IQ and reaction speed, one of Hester's best traits is how fast he processes plays. On film, he dissects routes well, reacts quickly to what's happening in front of him. He doesn't waste steps and shows good discipline when working in zone. Whether it's jumping a screen or staying home on a shot downfield, Hester's decision-making shows maturity and trust in his assignments. Physicality and run support. Hester isn't afraid to step up and hit. He's a willing tackler who comes downhill in a hurry and knows how to take proper angles. He sheds blocks well for a defensive back and consistently makes plays near the line of scrimmage. That physicality should translate well to SEC play, especially as he adds more size and strength over the course of his collegiate career. Where he can improve, Hester's game is well-rounded, but there is still room to grow. At times, he can be overly aggressive in jumping routes, which can lead to missed plays or open receivers. He is a good tackler, but can clean up his technique when wrapping up in space. Adding strength and continuing to loosen his hips in transition will help him become even more consistent when mirroring pass catchers. Andrew Ivins of 24/7 Sports also offers an analysis of CJ Hester. Quote, battle-tested defensive back with natural coverage skills and some alignment flexibility that has produced since he was a freshman for Cocoa program that has won 3 straight state titles. Verified at just under 6'1" early on in the recruiting process and should eventually carry 195 pounds or more. Has plenty of experience working in off-man situations from an outside posting and does a favorable job of putting himself in position to make plays in the deeper third with his route recognition. Animated as a tackler as he charges towards opponents and tries to unload with force. Not afraid to lower his shoulder and rock a compromised pass catcher either. Owns promising track and field metrics, but game and tape in-person evaluations suggest that he's quicker than he is fast. Projects as a starting caliber safety at the Power 4 level that could also earn snaps on the inside as a nickel defender. Should be a regular on special teams unit with his physicality and sound football IQ. Some different looks here. Like I said, being able to play, and there's your examples of some good tackling right there. Not afraid to get physical. That's one of the things I mainly look for when all these film reviews, of course, are showing the highlights of a player. You don't see the lowlights too much. But one thing I do look for is how do you play? You don't need to shy away from contact. I'd like to see you showing the physicality. I like to see a high number of physical plays. And that's what we're getting here. That's what we're getting here. It's not just two highlights of tackling and all being able to, intercept the ball or make a play on the ball. There's also some physicality in here as well. Play recognition, not being afraid to hit. That's what I think you have to like here in some of these highlights. And in the that's the portion of the highlights we're watching right now is just his reaction and coming up and making a tackle, making a hit. You can definitely see he's not afraid to hit. He'll go low, knows when to go low, knows when to play smart. I mean, outsized, going to get some running back there, but doesn't care. Takes his legs out from under him. I mean, so yeah, I like it. And then play recognition here. I mean, playing his man, but comes off of his man to help make a tackle. A lot to like here. There's a lot to like here. A few more highlights, not much left there, but you can see the versatility as well. I mean, the way he plays the physical part of the game, I think you can see where nickel and safety come into play, but particularly nickel. Like a lot of what I'm seeing right here is, that screams nickel to me if he has to play it. Like he's not afraid of the contact, can play closer to the line of scrimmage. Good little player here. I'm liking CJ Hester. I mean, physical right there and on route coverage. Good stuff there from CJ Hester. I'll let this one play out so I don't stop in the middle of it, and then there we go.